Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Singularity podcast, only single player's official podcast for single player topics. I'm your host, J. Scott Brown, and as always, joined by the cheeky Singularity crew, Josh and Alexis. How you doing?
Cheeky.
Oh, God.
Is that how you're doing? That's really cool.
It's going to be one of those shows.
Cheeky girl. Cheeky.
There you go. All right, guys. Topics in today's show. We're going to be talking
Really?
about...
I've got to be the only introduction here? Wait a minute. Whoa. Hold on a second. I'm not some kind of, like, entertainment
Matt, you
girl with
stole the
giant
show,
boobles.
man. You stole the show.
Or dancing British monkey.
I think that was perfect. We didn't need it. We didn't need any more. You absolutely just took the spotlight there, man.
Look at my titties.
Amazing. All right, guys. Topics coming up today's show. We'll be talking about the Far Cry Primal announcement that happened earlier on in the week. Then from there, we're going to the kind of give you a bit of a summary and our thoughts on the voice actor strike proposed by the SAG Guild, and I guess the prospect of that strike and the impact that's going to have on upcoming releases. And then, of course, another Halo 5 Guardians discussion, because, you know, we love some of them Halos. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming later in the month.
Shut up, Josh. You're not a fan.
Some more of that Halo 2.
I feel like some heated Halo debate's going to be coming up, which is
right,
certainly
Alexis,
intriguing.
that Halo 2.
Oh God. Don't even. I'm ignoring you until
A
later.
little bit of that battle rifle, yo.
I'm ignoring you until later
A little bit of that free shot kill streaking.
Talk about Far Cry.
Okay. All right. So Far Cry Primal, it was leaked actually earlier in the week before it was announced by IGN, which I guess is another amazing games journalism moment. And essentially, yeah, Ubisoft kind of later shed light on it and confirmed that it was a new, I guess, idea for the series, especially going on from what Far Cry 3 was to Far Cry 4, bit maybe too similar. I think maybe they're trying to take it in a bit of a different direction. So, and it's coming out, I think they said Q1 2016. So what were you guys' initial thoughts on just the idea of a new Far Cry going in this direction?
I'll play it. I mean, one thing that I always really liked about the other Far Cries was the little add-ons, like expansions they did. Like, there was a Blood Dragon. And then they did the little one in Far Cry 4, which was more, you didn't have to pay for it, which was the Shangri-La, which I was, like, in love with, where you had the bow and arrow and the white tiger and stuff. And it seems basically what they've doing is they've ended up listening to all the amazing feedback they got for just Shangri-La, because the rest of Far Cry 4 was like, Everyone loved Shangri-La. And so what they're doing is just replacing the white tiger with a saber-toothed tiger, and now you have throwing spears instead of a bow, from what I understand.
Right,
Oh, they have bows, I think.
Is there a bow in there as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not like a mechanical one, but...
Combo!
See?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was my initial thoughts as well. Like, I saw this little leak, and I'm like, wow, wouldn't this be... I thought this might be the Blood Dragon to Far Cry 4. I thought maybe this could be the thing where they would, like, make a smaller, maybe 6-hour experience to stand alone, or I guess expand alone, and repurpose the assets and try to do something different. It does kind of make me...
fucking La. Just play
But
Shangri-La.
that wasn't really... I mean, how big was that, really, in comparison to Blood Dragon?
That was a few hours.
Okay. You think that was on
It
par
had, like,
with
its own
Blood Dragon?
boss. It had, like, its own boss and everything.
Okay. All right, then. Yeah, that's fair enough. I guess, yeah, because I agree with you. Far Cry 4, to me, ultimately didn't really resonate with me as much. I think 3 was a really nice step in the right direction, going off from what 1 and 2 were. But then 4 just kind of... It was kind of rinse and repeat, almost, and that was kind of a shame. So
it was more that they had this giant environment and they just didn't know what to do with it.
Oh,
it was like, it was a really good environment. Yeah. I loved the forest. And the one thing that they really annoyed me with, actually, was, and I haven't got around to playing it yet because I bought the season pass, is they teased you in the main game about the snow environment. You always see this snowy mountain in the background, and they do one mission in, like, a snowy environment where you have to, like, escape and stuff. But then they brought out the expansion pack, which was in, like, complete snow and things. But it was like, if they had just completely, like, done the entire thing, it would have been so much better. But it was that issue of them separating it all and then going, oh, well, shit, we could have, like, had a really good story if we just put it all together. And then they ended up making this really crap story where you just wandered around and you didn't even see the villain, which was the sucky thing. So hopefully this time...
Oh my god, and he was the only redeeming factor of the game. Like,
yeah, he was
really
so
sad.
good, and he's only in it like twice. And then you just hear him in radio call. He's like, that is like the fucking Phantom Pain of Far Cry. You just hear the guy on the radio all the time. The voice actor of Troy Baker. There you go.
No,
and he's even in that as well. he's in Phantom Pain too.
That's
and
true.
He's even on the radio in that.
Troy Baker's everywhere.
Flipping radios and Troy Baker.
Yeah, no, I do agree as well. Like the open world in Far Cry 4 was almost, it almost epitomized the kind of the wrong way of doing open world, in the sense that you do a lot of mundane activities that don't connect with the actual zeitgeist of the story, everything that's happening, and you just kind of, and they're just kind of there for the sake of doing things, especially Ubisoft becoming pretty synonymous now with just random towers and all their open world shenaniganry, even putting the towers in the crew or whatever with the driving game.
Like, well, they're in Far Cry, they're in Assassins.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it with towers?
Watch
Just leave
Dogs.
them alone. What have towers ever done to you? And for some reason, you have to take down the tower. Towers have families as well, you know.
Oh God!
Timmy Tower
All right.
Tanya Tower. And what are you doing? You're taking over the towers, making those towers your bitch, and you're just rolling on the towers.
Alexis, what did you think of this initial announcement?
I thought it looked really cool. I think it looked a lot like, at first I thought it was like Ark, and I was like, wait, this game's already out. Like, what are they doing? And then when I like watched later on in the week when the trailer came out, I was like, oh yeah, that looks really cool. I never really got into the like Far Cry. I never played Far Cry. I mean, I know about it and I've obviously seen it before, but what are they going to do that's different? Because to me, a lot of the Far Cry is like kind of similar, but again, I really don't have like a really good perspective on it because I haven't played it before. So I'm sure it's like really an incredible game, but what are they going to do with this one? You know, I don't really.
Well, that's what I'm kind of really interested in. Yeah, I think like because it's releasing very like imminently. It's not coming out in this holiday period, but
it's coming in like February, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like the initial announcement got me pretty kind of intrigued because it's like, oh wow, this is really great. They're really trying to do something a little bit different with this one. But then I watched the trailer, and it kind of looks like the same. Again, it's hard to get this off a trailer, obviously, but my initial reaction was, that kind of looks like the same world, but now with a different like hue or lighting,
right?
You know,
like they're using the same jungle scene, but replacing the character and like
which is maybe you can do that if you do actually fix some of the open world elements that were a little bit weird, and also, you know, actually address the story and characters in more meaningful ways. Like Far Cry 4 definitely kind of missed the mark there. In Far Cry 3 actually did that quite well. It had a nice villain. I would say kind of missed the mark at like the latter half of the game, but you know, it at least had a good protagonist and it had a good story, whereas Far Cry 4 kind of missed that in every respect. So that was kind of a shame. So if Primal can do that, if Primal can say, okay, look, we recognize that Far Cry 4 wasn't all as hot as 3 was, and we've made a better story, we've made maybe an open world, maybe even not even open world. I mean, maybe they could actually do a linear game that makes more sense. Unlikely, but maybe I would prefer that to another open world that's still just a bit crazy, a bit sporadic, and all over the place. You know what I mean?
And hopefully they don't do like what. I mean, it worked out for Saints Row. Remember Saints Row 4? The same fucking map as Saints Row 3.
Right? Yeah.
I hope they don't do that.
Yeah. No, that was a bit. I mean,
that was more though that they were originally going to actually make.
It was going to be DLC. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and so that wasn't really anyone's fault. That was more that it was a transition to another company, and they're like, well, we've got all this asset, let's do something with it.
It was,
so like, let's make $60 money.
Yeah, no, it was quite funny how they made that story parody excuse in the game for the sake of it. But yeah, essentially they did just make that entirety as an excuse to copy the exact same setting. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. It'd be interesting to see what comes out of Primal. I mean, I think the worst thing for Far Cry in terms of the series is to annualize it. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, like, Far Cry 4 came out at the end of 2014, right? Or was it 2013? I'm pretty sure it was 2014.
It's 2014, I believe.
Yeah. So
it was during the early PlayStation 4 phase. That's all I remember. It was like one of the first games I bought for it.
Oh, okay. It might have been 2013 then, because it did come out. Next-gen consoles came out in 2013. Okay, well, either way, it's good that they've taken at least more than a year to, like, really construct this one, because like I think at the end of the day, what I don't want for Far Cry is for it to devolve into what Assassin's Creed really has like kind of hit rock bottom in a sense, especially with Syndicate coming out. There's all the microtransactions kerfuffle going on with that. I mean, that series has really taken an interesting turn into like really becoming not really that interesting anymore, and that's it's a real shame, because there's so much potential in terms of how much money goes behind it, how much manpower goes behind it in terms of developing and producing this series. So I think the idea that they're trying to do something at least a little bit novel in terms of a thematic or setting or whatever, that's pretty cool.
I think one thing that I'm really excited about is like it doesn't have guns in it. It's like actually it's going like really far back. Like Far Cry has always been known about kind of like the Predator-esque kind of, you know, like it's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger's kind of, you know, back in the 90s kind of films and things.
Oh, is he in the game?
No. But you know how it was all like jungle-based, run and gun and all that crap. But now it's kind of, I can't even think of anything. And that's the cool thing, though, is that you can't really think of anything that's relatable to this, and so it feels kind of new, which I'm partially excited about. Like, the one thing I'd love is dinosaurs. Like, they had dragons.
Dinosaurs?
They had dragons in Blood Dragon, so why can't we have, you know, maybe like a dinosaur or two?
Just one? One, maybe two?
Just, like a little foot? I just want a little foot, you know?
If they put any of them in there, though, it would be like in a cutscene or something like that.
Oh no! You gotta fight a T-Rex or something. That's the funny thing though, is that no one's ever been able to do that right. Like dinosaur games, like Orion and stuff like that, have always been really crap. And so it'd be good to see a straight a first party game doing dinosaurs correctly.
What about Lego Jurassic Park? That was pretty.
Shut up! I'm talking. I don't want Legos. I don't want to see me shooting someone with a spear and then breaking into little breakable parts. I want to see Jeff Goldblum in a loincloth throwing spears at people. Let's go faster.
I'd pay $60 for that. Come on, Jeff Goldblum. Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
There you go.
So dinosaurs.
I guess what Josh and I are saying is we hope Far Cry Primal has Jeff Goldblum, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the Predator all in it.
Shut up, you confused the entire thing I was saying. I'm basically saying it was a completely different like concept, which is good, but I want dinosaurs in it. You can't just have mammoths. We've already had elephants, but you can't just have a different skin. There has to be more to it, you know? I mean, what else is there in the caveman days?
Then do you think that they're maybe treating it more of like a Saints Row 4? It's really supposed to be DLC, but they thought, let's make it a whole...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so bad.
Like, yeah, you're right. The trailer that they showed was just woolly mammoths, and that's exactly the character skin for an elephant, but with different...
Just an elephant in puberty.
In puberty.
Hair growing in weird places.
Exactly.
Listen, elephant, there are changes happening to your body.
It's
might not
natural.
And it's you might you might be angry for a little while, but that's completely normal.
Maybe looking at those lady mouse in a completely different way.
Like Simba with Nala. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Just elephant.
Ruined childhood. So yeah, Far Cry Primal. I'm pretty excited for it for that reason as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And also, I'm also just really like, you know, what happened with Blood Dragon? That like, because to me, Blood Dragon was so great. I love Blood Dragon because that had so much vision.
Another one, though, aren't they?
What's that?
They're making another one though, aren't they?
Oh well, that's what they said. They said they were doing something along the lines of Blood Dragon 2. That's when I initially saw Far Cry Primal. I thought this would be the Blood Dragon for 4. Essentially, I thought like that's maybe what they were hinting at. But yeah, no, I mean, if they were to do a Blood Dragon 2, that would be pretty great as well. Just because that at least it was the level of focus and attention to detail that game really had, while still repurposing assets. You know, it had like fucking, what was it, like laser sharks or whatever. Like, it was just like the craziest shit. It was really cool, and it had a really unique identity in terms of what it wanted to be. So I think that's really what Far Cry 4 was really missing for me anyway, because it would seem to have this kind of muddled view of itself that was really confused with Far Cry 3, and then it just didn't really kind of have its own standing in terms of like characters and protagonists. Again, the only really factor redeeming in terms of like actually being pretty good was the antagonist, and then you don't even see him that much. It's like, it would be nice if Far Cry Primal really starts to get to more of the point of what Far Cry was really about, especially in terms of like 3 and Blood Dragon, which I thought were definitely the highlights of the series. I don't know. Is that would you guys agree with that?
As you were saying with that kind of like weird DLC thing as well, is that with the season pass that did come out for Far Cry 4, I think they only brought out one major expansion, and so it feels like maybe this is like them separate. Like, this was going to be part of that season pass, kind of like how they teased with Shangri-La and stuff. Because it was kind of set in that partial type of period, I guess. But now this is like a complete separate game. People probably expected like an actual Far Cry 5. This is obviously not it, and it's so close to what Shangri-La was and stuff. It just feels like maybe they've ripped it from that season pass and making it its own thing, which it seems to be, you know, something that a lot of developers are doing these days.
Right. Yeah.
Which is shaky.
It's a bit shaky, absolutely.
It's all assumption, though. I mean, if it is like a really good game, but they've only shown like a small trailer to it, and it's one of those things where what else could you do with cavemen? Like more spears. They didn't have machine gun spears, you know.
Poison.
So you're gonna have to
Poison.
you're gonna have to make like way better weapons. You're gonna have to have like a massive ton of variety in enemies and stuff, but they haven't shown that. So unless it's like a giant surprise,
though, too, yeah.
So unless it's like a giant surprise, then I like the idea of it, because I really want a Shangri-La-esque game, but I'm holding my breath, thinking that they're maybe just pulling off something cheeky, where they're probably just trying to squirt us for money or something.
Yeah, and I think that's a reasonable level of skepticism as well. All right, there you go.
Don't fuck this up, Ubisoft. Don't
oh my
fuck
god!
This up.
Whoa!
Okay, Jesus.
Just kind of like,
where'd Josh go?
I was not prepared for that.
Alrighty, let's talk about the voice actor strike. This story's been developing for quite a while, actually. It was originally, I believe, broke by Game Informer a few weeks ago, and essentially it was the idea of a strike that was coming up. There was basically a lot of voice actors tweeting on Twitter that were a part of the SAG guild, which is, if you don't know, the kind of guild for actors and voice actors that are a part of this union, so they can have the, I guess, you know, typical union stuff, the bargaining clout to go against publishers and stuff like that, so they can come together and to make all these decisions. So it was like Will Wheaton, I think.
You don't know what a union is, then go back to school.
You could do that too. Jennifer
School
Hale.
reunion?
I can't think of many others, but there are a lot of prominent voice actors that came out and said, look, this is an issue, and this is going to be something we're like contending, because they basically throughout the year, their deal was coming to an end, I think at the end of this year with publishers, and they had met multiple times throughout the year, and they had not come to any conclusion. So they're basically saying that like we want a better off like agreement, and some of the stuff that they were trying to get were, for instance, I think what it's called back-end payments, which basically means they take a smaller amount in terms of salary, but the more if a game sells up to 2 million copies in every 2 million interval, they get a little bonus or a little percentage of that. And so essentially,
it seems kind of wrong, though.
Oh yes, so
like,
go into it. Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, is the voice actor the only part of the game that deserves that? What about the people who stay up all night making those flipping things, doing crunch hour and stuff? Like the voice actor, from what, like when Nolan North does interviews and so he's like, oh yeah, just come in, you know, do a few of my lines, it's all fun. It's like, is that really your hardship? Well, you've got these people who actually make the games and actually have to like spend hours upon hours away from their families to make these giant products, and then they're not getting any of this stuff, and half the time they're getting fired or their job closed down. So it's like,
right. I wouldn't go the other end of the spectrum. Like, I mean, Will Wheaton talked about it a bit, and he wrote a whole blog post on it. He basically said like most of the time it's like 6 to 7 hour days of just like intense kind of voice work, and then like you can't even talk for the rest of the day, let alone you can't do any work for the rest of the week, and that's gonna like.
Will Wheaton has a job.
No, well, basically, I mean, like, what I'm saying is in terms of like the Nolan North thing. Like,
no,
I agree with you that like I think you step into weird territory when you try to arbitrarily pit the roles against each other. I think, and I think that's what you're trying to get at as well. Like, it's just really strange to me. Like, okay, I get what SAG are trying to do, represent their people, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, they're actually not the only. Like, if anything, they're one of the minor teams that contribute to a game sometimes. Not always. In most AAA titles, it's actually a really big deal. But in a lot of kind of smaller games, it's actually not a huge deal to not have voice acting from, or at least not really famous voice actors a part of SAG. So, you know, like, again, where do you start drawing the line between voice actor, developer, producer, soundtrack? Like, all these people are involved in such a critical way. It's like, where do you start saying, like, well, the voice actor has the most significance, they deserve this bonus? It's like, that's a little strange to me. I'm not really sure.
There's other things as well. Like, I believe they said that they wanted proper stunt people to do, like,
Yes, yeah.
all the mocap and things as well, like professionals from like the movie industry and things, and like just better equipment and stuff like that. So it seems that there's quite a lot to do with it. But I mean, one person I haven't heard say anything yet is Andy Serkis, who is like one of the legends when it comes to all these things. Like, he's done the voice work, he does the mocap, he does everything, and so it's like, I mean, obviously, like, there's all these little other people that are obviously saying their little piece about it, but I'd love to see some of the people who are so hardcore into it talk about it, because we haven't yet. We've heard them say, I support it, but it's like, well, tell us why.
Well, I think by definition, since they are in the union, they have to support it. Like especially the members. And actually, the one part of the agreement that I was reading over, like, I was reading over the SAGs, basically, like, that, like, these are our things we need for, like, us to come to the table. I was reading over and like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. I can get that. Yeah, that makes sense. And then there's one specific one that does, I don't really understand too much, because maybe you guys could like help illuminate it for me. But basically, one of the clauses in SAG's contracts that they were proposing was essentially that a publisher cannot use someone in their own organization for voice work. They have to, like, if they wanted to do that, the employee would have to join SAG and then do the voice acting work. But a publisher could not use internal employees for their own voice acting work. That sounded incredibly strange.
Yeah, in a lot of unions, you can't, like, you're forced to be part of a union. You can't
is that too egregious though? Like, that really seems like that's overstepping it, especially if you're a publisher, especially if you're an indie publisher, like, developing a game. Like, you know, you don't really have the money to hire, like, a SAG voice actor. You would just use your buddy from down the street, surely. I mean, like, I don't really understand how that's a reasonable thing to really, like,
E.g. Destiny.
Well, I don't think this applies to the guy who's just making a game in his garage down the street. I think this only applies to a certain, and I'm sorry, I didn't read too much more on it, like, just like the basics of it, but it'll be for those people who are making the AAA titles that are, like, you know, paying them, you know, $100,000 and then turning around and making, you know, $5 million off of sales alone. So I don't know. I mean, unions are always a tricky thing. A lot of people like them, a lot of people hate them. So
yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I think, well, the bonus, like, payment thing, that, like, the whole idea of every 2 million copies sold, that was kind of their rationale behind it. They're like, this isn't going to affect smaller developers, because it's like, it's only for the AAA titles that are selling a lot of copies, like, up till, you know, 10 million. So it's every 2 million you sold, we get a little bonus there. The voice actors get a little cut. So that wouldn't affect smaller publishers. But I think by definition, that rule would also affect kind of indie developers, at least in a sense, if they were to, you know, be a part of the relationship with hiring SAG employees. I'm not really sure entirely as well, but I would feel like, just in terms of the clause that they put there, that would make sense. I'm not really sure, to be completely honest, but it's just interesting to me that would be a thing that they would be, you know, really pushing for. But yeah, essentially what's happening now is the internally SAG took a poll. They were required to get 75% at least, in terms of like how many of the actual people a part of the guild were willing to go on strike, and they got, I think, a 95 or a 96 or something. Yeah. So essentially that it doesn't mean they're on strike, but essentially means they are ready to go to strike.
They signed the petition. Yeah. They're ready to
strike.
They loaded the magazines. They got the assault rifles
ready. Whoa!
Troy Baker got his action ready. He ready. He's ready for this. You know, like, wasn't there like a film or something where, like, all these I can't remember what you know, like Anchorman. where like the massive battle. So like everyone's got like this one thing, like a sword or sink, and then there's just like Nolan North in the back of his laser gun. It's like, North, where did you get that from? The future. He starts laughing. I could so see that.
Walking around with a grenade. I stabbed a man.
So would this be, if this kind of develops and this gets to the point of where a strike is on and maybe a period of time goes by, will this be kind of akin to what the writer strike was back in the day, not too long ago for like TV? And I guess like, would that be the video game equivalent? Because essentially this is going to put a lot of kind of work on hold, because if you're a part of SAG and you're on this, like SAG's going on strike, you will not be doing voice acting work for whatever AAA games are coming up. Will that actually be a big deal in terms of putting all these games on hold, do you think?
Probably. Because apparently they've got a really big stranglehold on it. So why wouldn't it delay everything?
Right, yeah.
But then again, would you really notice it?
I mean, it depends how long they're on strike for. I mean, if they're on strike for an extended period of time, somewhere in the realm of maybe 2 or 3 months, I think you would definitely feel it. Because, I mean, in terms of development, in terms of producing all these games, especially the very top tier, like AAA side of things, they're all on a very tight schedule, especially with, like, let's say Uncharted 4 coming out early next year. I mean, I would assume the majority of the voice work should be done there. But let's say, like, you need a couple things in crunch. Like, it's like, if you don't have the ability to just pull in Nolan North and just get him for a couple lines, it's like, well, that's like, it's gonna really hurt, I think. I don't know.
No, I wonder what they're going to do with like pre-recorded stuff.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like they probably keep.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting. I'm not sure.
Because that would be really interesting. That there's like, okay, fine, we'll just use all the pre-recorded stuff we have, put it together, and we don't need you. Because I'm certain
it's going to be a 50-50 in the end. I don't think there are some things they'll get. There are some things they won't. Like, I really don't want them to get the royalty thing. Personally, I don't think that's very fair on everyone else. I think that's them just kind of been, you know, you get to start in a game. That's fantastic, and they do get paid really well anyway. But it's like there are on their list of demands. It sounds like they're like holding hostages or something. But it's like. They do have some things that are needed, and obviously they should have been there in the first place, because it's one of those things where the industry for that kind of thing is so new, and I think developers were just so excited that they just ended up getting all these people in, like voice actors, mocap, everything like that, and just doing it all in one. It was like, oh, it'll be fine, throw tennis balls at them, it'll be cool. But then now it's like, oh, well, there needs to be all these regulations. There needs to be all these kind of like health and safety things to ensure that your actors who are doing multiple things, not just voice acting, are secured. And so a lot of that, I think they do need to do, at least on the developer side of thing or publisher, to secure that kind of safety for these people. And so it's not like dangerous and stuff. But there are things where I don't think they should be giving into it at the same time.
I don't think that they're like looking to take the money away from like the guy who's like sitting in, you know, sitting all night like creating and like writing and doing whatever. They're saying like that the CEOs and every like manager are getting paid like $1 million bonuses.
Yeah,
that's every business. Welcome to the world of business. That's
I think that's what they're saying. I think that's where they're trying to take the money from.
Yeah,
that's basically like Bono
the specific one they reference actually is like EA got like massive bonuses for some of their games. Like the CEO would get like $1 million bonuses for like big sales. So I think that's maybe where they're coming from. Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to like just ruin companies by taking money away from the people who really deserve it.
I wouldn't say that. I think they're just expecting too much. Like, it was one, like, for a stupid example, because I'm British, is that there was the Royal Mail, and basically, like, post-delivery people were, like, expecting, like, a higher paid raise and everything like that. It's like, you do realize you're just delivering post, right? I mean, no offense to them, they do a really good job, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, don't expect too much from your career. Yes, you're doing really well at it and everyone loves you for it, but it's like, don't expect to be treated like God, you know, and be played like God.
I don't think they're
like a movie star.
It's different because I've never been a like voice actor, which is why not? But
you're a voice actor now. You're on a podcast.
I know, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Thank you. No, I don't know like what they go through like auditions and the everyday. Like maybe it really is that. Maybe it really does suck. Maybe not for like the Troy Bakers who like are in everything and have done it a billion times and have a lot of clout in the industry, but like to the guy who's just coming in for the first time, maybe they like do keep him there for hours and hours and waiting and
right, yeah.
I don't know.
But that's the weird thing is that there's been so many interviews though that they all keep saying how much they love it. They keep saying how they love their job.
They interview like the popular people, right?
Well, not even the popular people. Just like there was the thing on Game Trailers where they interviewed they kept doing little interviews of like smaller voice actors, and they all said they were so passionate about their job and so enthusiastic about it. And so it's this thing of like you hear so much positivity that it's like
Yeah, but you gotta be careful. Like, I mean, like part of what you're saying there as well. It's like you need to make sure just because like the voice actors doing this really love it, and like there's a lot of like potential voice actors around because like everyone's willing to do it. Like that could be a dangerous thing as well. Like it reminds me of kind of like the way game development kind of works right now, or even actually pro gaming. Actually, there's a big problem there as well in the sense that like because there's a big like massive audience of people that are so keen on it, like especially game developers, like they'll be like to a publisher, all right, well we want a higher pay raise, we're not going to develop this because it's like it's not fair what you're offering. They can just be, publishers can just be like, all right, cool, we'll just go to these guys who are eager as fuck as well. It's like because there's so much of an audience there ready to jump on it, just like pro gaming. Like a kid could be like, you're going to pay me $200 a month to play video games? Like, hell yeah, I'm going to take that. We're in all honesty, it's like
I'd take that. Are you kidding?
That's like the worst deal ever. So I get what you're saying with voice actors. Like, it's great that they're all keen, but that doesn't necessarily translate to, they should still get like a really good deal. And I think they are at the top level. It's just that we need to probably, like, I mean, I don't know. We'd actually know the figures on like what does a standard voice actor kind of get salaried from, like, I guess in terms of just like a reasonable leveled game, not like AAA tier. I don't really know.
Oh, well, it's one of those things where we'll just have to wait and see what happens, I guess. It's very light on the information.
It is actually, yeah, because after the story broke, there was a media blackout. So we really can't, actually like infer too much. But I guess at the end of the day, the idea that a strike will potentially happen now could be pretty damaging in terms of setting these release schedules. I would say if it were to happen, we would feel it probably the most at the end of next year, just because there's already dates lined up at the end of 2016, and most likely they'll probably get pushed back. Or maybe even feel it into 2017, just because voice acting work for those games, you know, Call of Duty like 13 and Far Cry I don't know 7, like they're getting voice acting work probably now, so it's like we'll probably feel the dates for those shift depending on what happens. And maybe potentially we won't even notice because we don't actually know those exist yet. That could be another kind of maybe positive side of things.
Exactly. It's going to take, we know how long dev takes anyway, so we really going to be, I mean, maybe in the middle of the year when we're like, shouldn't there be like more games coming out? Or no, I'm sure we'll know of it because the guild will be like, oh yeah, remember, like there's supposed to be like a lot of games coming out right now, and they're not because of us. So
suck it. Yeah, pretty much. All right, guys, that's our thoughts on that. It's the voice actor strike potentially coming soon to a theater near you. Guys, Halo 5 Guardians. It's coming out October 27th. And
yes, it is.
Full disclosure here, I, against my better judgment, got the special edition, like, Halo Spartan Lock, like, Halo Xbox One thingy package thing, with, like, the custom Halo sounds. Dude, it was so funny. I had a friend tell me the other day, he's like, you know that Xbox One has custom sounds, right? And I'm like, but I don't even know what the original Xbox One sounds are, so they're not really custom to me. They're just going to be the normal sounds. Like, I don't know
if I have my plugged in at the moment, because I've got the Halo Reach version. Basically, when you, do you remember, Alexis? I showed you this.
Awesome.
Basically, when like you open it, it does the shield sound. It goes boom, like and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Yeah,
it is
awesome.
So cool.
So it'd be kind of cool to see. So there's actually another one now. There's like a Halo, and there's a Halo 5 version now.
Yeah, there's a Master Chief one, which is like a little bit more of the greenish, like sort of color, and the Spartan Lock kind of gray one.
I'm getting the controller, and I'm getting it.
You getting it?
Does that mean like does the Lock one go, gotta find Chief, sucker? And then there's like the Master Chief, which is like, I have no eyebrows.
has no eyebrows. What does that mean?
You don't see the ending of Halo 4 where he takes his helmet off? He's like complete bald.
He's like a blonde dude, okay? He
was ginger.
No, he's not. He's a blonde.
He was going through chemo at the time, Josh. Be fair, right?
He's not like the mammoths. You know, he hasn't got to that part of his life yet. Hair hasn't grown in funny
skipped
places.
over puberty like by 1,000%.
Okay, but dude, like I have a question right now, right? So getting to the point of Halo 5 Guardians, because I was not really following it too heavily until maybe only a couple months ago. So I've been watching every trailer, keeping up really kind of closely. And the thing that I'm really confused about is I've played every main Halo game and I've read some of the books, so I know my stuff, right? And the whole point, right, of going through the series was that Master Chief was the last fucking Spartan alive. He's the last Spartan. All the Spartans are fucked. If you've read The Fall of Reach, all the Spartans die on Reach. That's like kind of a thing. And so you can imagine. Hold on. Alexis, hold on. I'll give you. I'll throw to you in a sec. All right, you can yell at me in a sec.
Musa.
You can imagine my surprise to watch the Halo 5 trailers, and Chief, mate, he's got Fred, he's got Kelly, the team's all here, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're all dead. I don't know how you're back here. That's weird. Can someone please explain to me?
I know how Alexis is going to jump in on this.
Can someone explain to me how that makes any sense?
Go on, Alexis, you do it. This is the thing. I haven't read the books, but I know what happens.
Oh, we know you haven't read the books.
What's this shit?
Oh, the sass. Shut up. The sassy.
Bring it.
Okay. So, they didn't die. So, some of them died, you're right. And
hold on. First, where is this explained?
Books.
Where is this explained? In the Fall of Reach, and then the one right after it.
Is this like the expanding universe?
Yeah, no. This is
you know how like in Star Wars they made the films and then they made all these bullshit books that nobody gives a crap about, but then when they cancelled them, everyone went nuts. Basically, that's that. They've ended up making all these random books that not like 90% of Halo fans ever read. These are the things that Alexis like hugs at night.
I do. I go to sleep with my
universe.
Copy of Fall of Reach, and they're like my little children. I love the books. So they're not dead.
Isn't it that like, they're like stuck in a bubble on Oinks or something?
What?
There's that thing about like how Kelly and all the group are like stuck on some planet.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And same thing with Dr. Halsey. Like they're all stuck with her. So you don't know that they're dead or alive. And since they found Halsey, I'm assuming that's why they found the other Spartans.
Right.
Because remember Halo 4, Halsey was there, and they were like, yo, bitch, what'd you do?
Basically, they made Halo 4. They then thought, how are we going to explain all these Spartans? How can we put 4-player co-op? And it was like, oh, we'll just put it in there anyway.
I want to defend Master Chief and say that he's got a purpose for everything. Fuck Locke. You
can't be picking sides already. What the fuck?
I'm picking sides. Like if they kill Chief, if they do anything to like discredit him, I am literally going to find 343 and I'm gonna go bang on their door and like just Jason Statham transporter the fuck out of them. I'm gonna be so livid.
It's that interesting thing though, because you remember when Halo 5 was just announced and the guy who plays Locke said, oh, I can't wait to be the new protagonist. And everybody lost their shit.
Oh my God.
And now he's never said anything like that again. It makes me wonder if this is one of those like MGS2 Raiden things where it was like, oh, we kind of fucked up. Yeah. Let's put the main character back in it.
Yeah. Well,
I was confused by that because to me,
if we don't play as Chief, I'm gonna be pissed.
To me, watching the first trailers with you know they have the red team trailer where they come out and like fucking snowboard down and just like blast everything.
Oh, that was awesome.
And then they have the blue team trailer where they go on the ship with Chief and his crew, and then like they hold up all these like Covenant dudes.
Yes.
Like I thought, like watching them both, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. But then I got to the Chief and I'm like, oh man, he's got his boys back, and I'm like, I don't know how that even like. I mean, I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me at first, but maybe perhaps there'll be.
The other ones as well.
Sorry.
There's the you remember? Did you ever watch the animated? You know when they did that kind of animatrix thing with all like the different animated Halo films.
I remember they did an animated thing with ODST, but I didn't really watch it, I don't think.
Oh no! They did ones with like Master Chief and stuff where he was in like a crew of people, and you got to see them all like fight together. Some of them die in it and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where they never just showed it in the games, but again in the expanded stuff, they have actually made little bits and pieces.
Can we talk about Fall of Reach, the thing that they're like the animated series that they're bringing out with Guardians?
They got so fast.
Oh my god!
I mean, do you want to talk about it or just moan about it?
That's all I wanted to do. That's all.
It
looks. I think I did a little bit. It looks so incredible, and it like the whole time I was watching the trailer, I was like, "Oh my god, that's that part in the book! Oh my god, that's that part!" I'm so fucking excited. You guys don't even know. I'm so excited.
What did you think of the art style? Because I thought it looked a little bit strange, just in terms of like the. It seems to be going for a little photorealism, but then not really.
I haven't seen this Fall of Reach thing yet.
Or you mean like the animation of it?
Yeah, like the art style and stuff.
Yeah, they definitely like cut costs by doing it like
yeah, that's what I thought.
But I mean, I guess it would be like you could almost think of it like a comic book adaptation style of animation. I don't even know how to explain it.
Is it this 1 minute and 38-second long?
It's a little it's a little trailer.
I'm watching it right now. Prepare for my reaction in a second.
You're not gonna get it, so you can watch it all day and all night, but unless you read the books, I don't think you're gonna get as excited.
Well, I think that's the point, though, right? It's like to give people that backstory for 5, because it might finally start to be crucial. I remember when Halo Reach actually came out, there was a big uproar among fans. They're like, "Why isn't this the Fall of Reach?" Like the books were kind of held up to be so good, and yet Bungie were not willing to kind of integrate the story.
You know what would be really cool? I'm looking at you, 343. Can you make a Fall of Reach game where, like, while Noble Team is out doing their shit, you have, like, the Chief side of the story? And I'm sorry for the sirens going by.
Is Chief in
somebody
there?
bad again.
Guys, I gotta go.
But yeah, no. So for Halo 5 Guardians, that was like my main thing. I was like, "What's going on?" But putting that aside, I really like. I think in terms of like what kind of bothered me about Halo 4, it seems that they're trying to at least make some effort to remedy that in Halo 5. Because Halo 4, I feel like for the most part, like. I think the story was kind of okay, but like in terms of like actual gameplay, in terms of mission design and stuff, it was just there wasn't really too much to it, especially from the co-op perspective. I don't know if you guys played a co-op, but playing Halo 4 co-op, you literally just play as 4 chiefs, and it's kind of it's a little bit disjointing, especially when
you're doing all of them. You just play as a bunch of chiefs.
Yeah, especially when you do the cinematics where you have to grab stuff and all that. You just watch player 1 do it. That's it. You just wait till they do it successfully.
Exactly. I hope Jen Taylor is in it. Is in Halo 5. I don't know why, but I hope she is.
Crickets.
Cortana.
But yeah, for Halo 5, I think it's badass because you really have 4 unique roles. They have their own, not only cosmetic kind of presence, but also they have their own unique kind of gun, unique ability. I think, like, you know, in terms of, what is it, Red Team, like the chick can like sprint faster and stuff. It's like crazy stuff like that I appreciate because it gives you that unique sort of feeling. And I even saw like different screenshots, like all the HUDs look different for each Spartan. It's like that level of kind of depth in terms of creating that identity, I think, is really important. Because in terms of the co-op, it's going to be a really great co-op experience, I think.
I was kind of, the one thing I'm a bit disappointed is when they originally announced the whole thing, I kind of like the idea that maybe Master Chief had gone a bit rogue and
shut up,
bad guyish.
Nope.
Well,
I wanted that a little bit.
Doing,
that was kind of cool.
That's what they're doing.
But it doesn't feel like that anymore. It just feels like he's really misunderstood.
You see the
like,
poster?
He is misunderstood. That's the whole point.
But I mean, I'd have liked it if he had gone a bit, you know, like.
Nope.
Like, we got to send in the crew to take down this big ass boss, being Master Chief.
Nope.
But then at the end, it like does like a complete 180 or something. I'd have loved that, but it doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels more like people bitch so much about it that they've gone, "Oh, we need to make the Chief the good guy still."
Well, if they make me fight the Chief, I will literally shut off my Xbox and say no.
But that would be so cool if they had like little choices, and at the end you had to pick a side.
Well, that would be cool, but it wouldn't be Halo.
Well, that's the point. It's not supposed to be Halo anymore. It's like Call of Duty in space.
So I think what's gonna happen is like it's gonna be like Halo 2, which was one of the
Ugh.
yeah, I know. You play as like shut the fuck up, come on.
Bitch.
So where you play as the Arbiter and then you play as Chief. And I think like here you're gonna play as Locke, you're gonna play as Chief.
Yeah,
and
bounce around.
Locke's gonna find out, oh my god, like
He
Chief
has no eyebrows.
discovered a thing. I don't know what that thing is yet, but it's gonna be a thing.
Right. So wait, that'd be a bit weird because inevitably they're gonna meet up at some point. How's the co-op gonna work when you have the? Oh, you know, it'd be great actually. If you guys have played Call of Duty 4, there was a moment where you jumped between two teams and they eventually just met up and became this like super team. That'd be sick if they did that for Halo 5 Guardians, where they had. Yeah, they have like red team and blue team, and then Chief just like he merges their crew with Locks, and it's just like this badass crew of like.
And then they have like a
spawns
big
and shit.
space fight
Yeah,
Probably do that
against
That'll
the
be thing.
Didact and all those guys.
that's it.
Who's obviously not dead yet.
Obviously,
He's not. No, he's not.
But yeah,
But I
no,
think
yeah,
I
sure.
was like, I think it's probably going to be Mendicant bias too, is because like the whole point was like he was buried in the Ark in like the sands of Ark, and he's not quite dead, but he's supposed to. Oh, I don't know. I'm so scared. I don't want Chief to be the bad guy.
Oh, he's so cool. And he's like, he goes all like Liquid Snake. He's like,
Yeah.
brother,
Yeah.
you got no nanomachines and stuff like that, and just starts like ripping the shit out of everyone with his Prometheus, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I can see it. He just like tames one of them, rides into battle
Nice.
like a beast.
That would be cool.
See, look. You
You'd
always
be
going
like-
over to
you'd
the
be
side
like-
of the evil
you'd be
Master
like-
Chief.
And it would be like He-Man a little bit,
Yeah.
riding into battle.
Yeah, I think it's still there's so much in the air, and it's really exciting that they're not spoiling it all, because it's one of
Yeah.
those things where like they've shown literally what happens in Black Ops 3 now. We all know what kind of happens now in that story trailer, but in this one they've just shown little bits, and so it's cool that there's still so much up in the air about it.
I don't know. I think they've spoiled quite a bit. They definitely haven't spoiled. I think what's probably going to be still a surprise, but like. I don't know, like the fact that I know already that the Arbiter is going to be in it. That kind of like I was like, it's like
No, but I mean, like
Well, you
we
don't
still don't know. We still don't know like the intentions of both sides. Like they've been really good at keeping
that's
that
true, yeah.
hush hush.
Yeah.
And we don't know about the Cortana thing. We don't
You
know
don't
about
know-
the
You don't know
Didact.
what the Arbiter's role is going to be either.
That's true.
He could
yeah.
just be a cinematic, like,
Space pimp.
cutscene guy. Keith David.
Riddick as well.
But when does it drop for you guys? Because
November, my birthday.
27th.
I'm
Does it come?
gonna spoil it for you.
Yeah, I mean it comes October 27th for Oceania. What about you guys?
October 27th.
7th? Yeah. So
Uh,
well, I mean I'll have it before
Josh-
you because I
Josh
get.
has to wait till November.
I'm in the future, so I'll still get it before all of you, so I don't mind.
That's true.
Um,
Oh my god, I'm muting you on Twitter. I'm not looking at it. Like, I'm not gonna talk. I'm not even gonna come like
literally
within
spoil everything. No, actually, I'll be playing the multiplayer for like 50 hours straight before I touch the campaign. So, I'm sorry.
10. Good.
And speaking of,
That's-
I don't know if you guys have been following it, but there's been a lot of stuff coming out about the multiplayer as well. And yeah, this is kind of like where I get into it because like Halo for me has always been the best multiplayer experience I think that's available. So for Halo 5 to come out with like all the maps are going to be free, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
The only concern I'd probably have is probably to do with I think it's called the rec packs or requisition packs.
The microtransactions.
Yeah. It
Read
seems to
about
be.
that.
It's a little bit interesting how they're doing it. It's just it's always challenging to do it in a AAA games because I am already paying for it. But the way
Yeah.
they're doing it at the moment doesn't seem to be too egregious.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I think that's the way that they make you feel like they're not the bad guys. Because they're like, we didn't want to create a multiplayer experience where the person who pays the most is going to be able to, pull all of your scorpions out into the battlefield. Like, that's not how it's going to be. Well, then don't fucking make it a pay-to-play anything. Like, why? If you're going to be such a good guy about it, then don't make it like that.
Yeah.
That's what got me. Like, I don't know why that's such the norm now.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean, well,
kinda frustrating.
to my knowledge, everything you can acquire through rec packs you can get with in-game credits, and everything that you can get through rec packs is cosmetic, I believe, as well. It's not like you can. I mean, there's no loadouts. So it's not like.
I think you can get like different like loadouts and because they did mention like bringing scorpions into like battle and stuff like that. But I guess you can still earn it.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think yeah, there's specifically like with Warzone game types and stuff, you could get like Chiefs loadout from the campaign or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how impactful that would be. Again, you're gonna have to play it to really understand the true.
If it like really is worth it.
Yeah, well, just the true magnitude or impact of these kind of microtransactions. And I think if you pre-order as well, or maybe if you get the season pass or something like that, you get like 40 rec packs on day one or something crazy like that. So I'm not sure if I get that with the Xbox bundle-in deal, but that'll be interesting as well to see how much, just in terms of how much of an influence it will have, because the Halo's multiplayer, I mean, the thing that Halo 4 kind of missed in terms of what made it so great is that it's always been about that balance, that everyone on the same sort of playing field type sort of gameplay. Like, so you can't have, like, Halo 4 had the create a class system. It just didn't gel at all with the core principles of what makes Halo multiplayer so unique and also just so immersive and compelling, right? So if Halo 5 does a similar thing in the rec packs, in the sense that it does give you a unique advantage, that'll be a bit of an interesting kind of, like, I don't know, I don't think I'll be too much of a fan of that.
Well, I think 343 spent Halo 4 trying to like not piss off the Bungie like fans.
Yeah, which ironic.
So they were trying to
did.
like focus
So
on the
boring.
story, and then now Halo 5, they're like, okay, let's like go back more into multiplayer and let's make it like a
Right.
fun game
Yeah, they
again.
definitely are caring a lot more. I think, and I think actually the one thing I do appreciate about the rec packs is that the money that you put into it goes to the tournament that they're running, the Halo World Championship. So that's pretty great.
Oh,
I think it's kind of similar to what Valve do with Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Go. But I think I mean, they're free games, right? I mean, Counter-Strike Go costs $20, but Dota 2 is completely free. So it's like, it's a bit of a mismatch there. I mean, I don't know if you can do that in a $60 release and get away with it, but we'll see. But yeah, in terms of what they're bringing to the table in Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer, I think is pretty interesting, especially with Warzone being a new mode they're doing with the bots and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how that works in Halo. Also, just having 12v12, you know, that's never happened before. I think that what was Big Team Battle?
That was gonna be like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, like Big Team Battle
Like,
before was
it's gonna be,
8
like,
versus
spawning
8, right?
together.
So it's like you're adding on an additional 8 people there. I don't know. It's gonna get crazy.
I didn't like that because I heard that there was some people who did previews of it and they worked really hard to get some of the special cards, and then like if you spawned with this card you'd saved up for ages and then just died, you lost it. It was like, I was like, it's kind of like Titanfall, you know, when you get like really rare card, it's like, oh crap, like this is, you only get like a small chance of getting this type, and then you spawn and then someone just runs you over.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
God, that's annoying.
So it sounds like it's going to be quite like that, which I don't like the idea of. I do like the idea of like special weapons that you can bring in, but it'd have been cool if it was like you can keep them for like a set amount of time and use it. I don't know.
Right.
It's like kind of double-edged shit, especially if you spend loads of money on all of it, you know.
I hope you don't have to spend any money on it.
Well, you do. That's what they've said.
Ideally,
I know.
I just hope as well, FYI, that they don't, like, this time, a slight complaint about Halo 4 is that when I was playing the campaign of that, it felt like you were just going through a bunch of multiplayer maps with story topped on top of it. So it'd be good if, like, they kind of disconnect that now and make the campaign way more just its own thing and not just... I think it was because when they had a little bit of a horde mode in, was it Spec Ops? Was it called Spec Ops? Or
Firefight.
Firefight. It was that thing, yeah, no. It was the one you played as like the Spartan Ops. That was the Spartan Ops.
Oh, Spartan
And
Ops, sure.
the Firefight was the one in ODST.
No! He
So-
was helping you out.
What?
He was helping you out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had to restart the call there. It got a bit laggy, and I was sad because I couldn't hear Josh's thoughts. Josh, you were on a little bit of a tangent about the Halo 4 campaign. What were you saying?
Yeah. So I was basically saying that in Halo 4, from what I felt, was like it was just a bunch of the multiplayer maps or Spec Ops. I'm sure they're called Spartan Ops. Was it called Spartan Ops?
Yeah,
the co-op
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the episodic crap that I know finished.
Yes.
Basically, Spartan Ops was literally they used those maps and put them into the campaign. From what it felt like, it felt so much like it was just supposed to be that. And so I hope in Halo 5 it's less like that. You know how, like, say, those linear single player games, say like Uncharted or like Gears of War, it felt like they made those levels for the campaign. But with Halo 4, it didn't feel like that, and so that's one thing I'm a little bit scared of, because I was thinking I was so disappointed with Halo 4 about was it just felt like you were just going in arenas all the time. It was just arena after arena, and then a little bit of talk from Cortana was saying. But now it's the only thing. It's because they're so focused on multiplayer at the moment. I mean, we do have these little teases about like the 4-player co-op story, but it's that thing of, I hope it's because it's 4-player co-op, they're not just gonna go, oh well, maybe we could just use like our side co-op like missions and put them into the campaign and make it all like that. So that's the one thing I'm a little bit worried about. Because they did it last time, and so it's like, can they learn from that mistake? I mean, did you feel like that when you played the campaign?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, the Halo campaigns, I like the story, but in all honesty, the campaigns are an afterthought for me, just personally. So I did feel that for Halo 4 as well, yeah, for sure.
So it's stupid.
Alexis is sharpening her knife.
I mean, I'm more curious about Alexis' opinion, because she's the one that like completely straddles this series.
Okay, well, you don't have to like be.
She has like a pile of books
angry
next to her
about it.
toilet.
Oh my god, really? I don't know.
Well, come on. When you played Halo 4, did you not feel like after playing Spartan Ops as well that maybe it felt like a little too arena-y? Like you were just doing the Spartan Ops missions but single player?
Well, I don't know.
You do! She does! She doesn't want to admit it. That's
I
basically
don't know. Okay, well.
She's embarrassed.
Yeah. I feel embarrassed because Halo 4 kind of sucked, and I was hoping that it wasn't.
She's going shy because she knows it's shit.
Yeah. Well, let's be fair. Halo 4 wasn't the best one. Let's, it
Tap
definitely.
B to win.
What's that?
Tap B to win against the final boss.
Yeah. So I don't think that they put in as much effort as they could have. They tried to make it their own. 343 did, and I don't think it worked. But they tried their best. So
especially after Halo Reach as well, because like I really like it. People complain about that game. Like the one thing I always hate about.
I liked Reach. I'm with you.
Yeah, yep, I loved Reach. It's like my favorite one, especially because I just love the whole camaraderie thing about it, like which they're doing again now in Halo 5. But it had that thing of all the set pieces. It was that thing of they had set pieces, and you were going through all these set pieces, and it felt catered to a single player experience. While Halo 4 just felt like they'd made a multiplayer and then gone, well, we have to put a story on it, I guess. Yeah. And then they just kind of used those battle arenas, put the story on, and then just let it go.
Right.
And so hopefully this is not what they're doing again.
Yeah, actually, I actually agree with that pretty strongly, because in a lot of ways, like, I've said it for a long time, actually, like, Halo Reach to me is the last Halo game that I remember. Like, it's the last Halo game that kind of exists. I mean, Halo 4 is a good game. It's not really a Halo game. And so, in the sense, 343 really haven't had, I guess, a real home run in terms of a Halo experience, including the fucking one that was just supposed to be the old games. They didn't even fucking get that right. Yeah. So, I don't even, like, they completely bungled that. So, I don't even... Look, at the end of the day, I'm excited for Halo 5 Guardians. I think it looks mad. I'm really excited about all the stuff that's coming out. But look, maybe I pick it up and maybe it's just not up to snuff, because historically, if I was a smart consumer, I'd be looking at 343 and I'd be going,
yeah,
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, is it really worth it?
It's that thing of the ball is officially in their park now. It's up to them to prove something and see if they can actually carry the series. I mean,
yeah.
They're literally called free for free industries. You know, they are supposed to be the people who are carrying this like franchise now. So it's like, you know, people liked Halo 4, and you know, I've got nothing really against Halo 4. It just felt like when so many people are so dedicated to the story, you need to pull out all the stops. And so after all this teasing, it better not be like a 4-hour, you know, little roller coaster that has like just nothing, and it's literally just a bunch of multiplayer maps. That's all I'm saying. You know, with a little bit of story on top that all your friends can play together. You know.
Yeah, and then you can't split screen with like friends.
Oh my god! Don't even
that's
start me on that.
Fucking
That's
atrocious.
So
I'm so livid about that. I hate.
But it makes sense in a way. It does make sense. No. Because like I bought Gears of War Ultimate recently, and the reason I stopped playing it is because the split screen is so bad. Because in the original Gears of War, you could actually have full screen, split screen. But in Gears of War Ultimate, you can't because the engine, well, the Xbox One just cannot handle the brand new engine that they're using for that game. So it has black bars right down the sides. And it is so annoying, so ugly, especially on like a 55-inch TV that I used to play it, or did play it. And I feel like that's the reason why they didn't want to do it with this, is because the consoles just cannot handle multiple outputs, you know, for 4 players. That's just ridiculous. And it kind of makes sense. It is incredibly disappointing, though. I mean, can you even... It'd have been good if they just had, like, a system link option, so you could have, like, a bunch of monitors or something, but they didn't even do that. It just seems... Ugh. I wish you could, at least.
I don't know why they can't. So
I just told you!
I know, but, like, in the realm of we used to have it and then now we don't.
Yeah, no, it was actually weird, like, when that news first dropped, reading because first they announced it for campaign, I believe, then they announced it later for multiplayer. And, yeah, it was weird because they actually said for multiplayer, we can't include split screen because it's going to ruin the it's going to make the campaign run weird. But then I was like, but how does that make sense? Like, if it's split screen and multiplayer, how does that affect? I don't know. I couldn't understand it.
Is everyone ignoring the elephant in the room with the whole thing that the campaign isn't included into Black Ops 3 on original consoles because the consoles just can't handle it? And that's the thing. Yeah. The new consoles can handle the engine of Black Ops 3. I mean, the Halo engine looks way more advanced than the Black Ops 3 one, but that's probably why. It's that thing of that these systems now require so much, and if you're trying to separate that between 4 people, but this is the thing, it's only happening with these 4-player games. So the Black Ops 3 one is 4-player co-op, Halo is 4-player co-op too, and because it's one of those things of all that stuff is happening on those little tiny segments for each player, it just cannot process that much stuff, and so they're kind of like, well, crap, we've been put in a little bit of a situation where we're gonna have to make it only online only.
Yeah, but even 2-player split screen would have been appreciated.
That's what I mean. Like why didn't they just cut it down?
I'm pretty sure in previous Halo games you couldn't even do.
Because it's a 4-player. The game is made as a 4-player squad experience.
Wow.
Yeah, but even back in the day, you couldn't do 4-player split screen on campaigns. Like Halo Reach, I don't think you could. Halo 3, I don't think you could. Not on one console anyway.
You can do it on Gears of War. You can do it on Gears of War and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just talking Halo though. Like Halo, you would have to, if you wanted to do 4-player in a room, you would have to do 2 Xboxes linked up, 2 people split screening it for the campaign. So I don't know. I get where you're coming from, especially from a logistical perspective, because this upgrade, this tier of console is not even a big leap from the last one. It's actually one of the smallest ones I've ever had. So I understand the ramifications.
Basically, the Xbox One sucks, and Halo sucks.
Shut up.
The whole combination just doesn't work. This is why the PlayStation 4 should just look after Halo from now on. Because obviously it's the better console. Suck it, nerds!
Jay.
Yo.
Let's kick him out.
Right. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like a Big Brother eviction. Like
whoa, your ass is on the curb.
Bring it, viewers. Argue with me.
I think we should all just like cut him into pieces. That's
Killzone's way better than Halo. Drop mic.
Okay, all right.
Oh my god, I don't think anyone could possibly argue that.
Settle down there, fella.
I don't think even PlayStation fans would try and argue that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So it's gonna be an exciting game, but it's one of those things where after Halo 4, I just hope for the best.
Yeah.
You can make as many pretty trailers as you like, with Nathan Fillion looking like a sexy badass going down a snowy hill. But at the end of the day, I want to be playing that. You know, I want to control Nathan Fillion looking like a sexy badass going down a snowy hill. So
there you go.
Don't fuck this up, free for free.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of the Singularity podcast. But if you enjoyed it, you got to stick around. You got to watch read and watch all the other jargon that we're doing. So guys, where can people follow all the faff that you're doing on the Twitter sphere and just the general stuff on the interwebs? Josh, what you got, mate?
You can follow me on Twitter at noir_proxy.
Don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm just kidding.
I'm kind of not really working on anything at the moment, but
hey, promote our whiskey shot thing.
Oh, shizzle, yeah. Speaking
up.
of Halo, we've been doing a Halo whiskey shot
It was
challenge.
such a clear
Alexis-
connection as well. Like, how did you fuck that up?
Alexis cheated as well, by the way.
I did. I actually feel
You're
really
guilty.
bad.
She feels so bad about
I
it because
do.
I was like editing the videos and then I noticed right at the end where she started sipping. I drank 12 shots and she drank 5,
immediately,
sipped 6.
He immediately messaged me and he's like, "Did you cheat?" I'm like, I don't think so. Maybe 1 or 2. And he's like, "I count 6." I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
So like, the really funny thing is though, if you've ever seen Family Feuds, I ended up like whenever she sipped, I did the every single time she did it.
Oh wow!
So
We're gonna do
so
it again.
funny.
We're gonna do Halo 2.
Oh my god!
Oh, we should do Halo 5 too.
We'll do all of them.
Okay.
We're gonna do the entire series. It's gonna be
Okay.
awesome. Check that out, Proxy Playthroughs.
I remember seeing that you advertising that on the Twitter sphere, and I'm like, you seriously playing heroic? You're gonna die like maybe twice. But then when watching,
I died twice.
then watching the video, I didn't realize you guys would kill each other. I didn't realize you were actually not working together at all. I didn't know it was a competitive campaign.
I think like maybe like 35% through, we're like, nope, fuck each other.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that might have an impact on the amount of deaths you have then. That makes sense. Oh boy, Alexis, is it the same for you?
Yeah, you can check that out, and then I'm also doing a few Halo-related articles. One that should be coming up is the top 10 Halo music tracks, and then I'm going to do, I think, top 5 campaign levels in the Halo series, and then what Halo would be like without Master Chief.
Pretty fucking
wow.
awesome.
No, it would be shitty. I'm just gonna cry all over my computer, and that will
lock all day long.
Shut up. Go suck a dick.
There you go. And yeah, more of the same for me. Follow me on the Twitter sphere for all the updates, even though I've been a little slow on the Twitters lately, but I'll get back on that. But yeah, if you want to follow my writing and all my personal stuff, I tweet it and all that good stuff. So yeah, you'll find it there. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the Singularity Podcast today. For more episodes of this show, subscribe to the Only Single Player channel. Oh, actually, I do have an editorial coming out. Actually, it'll be out by the time this goes out. So check out that. It should be top 5 games to look out for this holiday season, because it is absolutely a plethora of releases that you're going to navigate. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for today. Josh, Alexis, thank you for joining me for another.
Oh, you're welcome.
Another delicious, scrumptious Singularity Podcast.
Diddly dumptious.
There you go. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
We'll miss you.